This quick video will show you how to complete a risk assessment on Siso. Open up the drop-down menu at the top left of the dashboard. Click the Risk Assessment tab. The first section of the risk assessment requires your project's title. Then you need to add the date you'll be collecting your equipment from us. You now need to add your academic supervisor's name. Enter a description of the activity or production which the risk assessment will be used for. There should be a short overview of where you'll be working and what you'll be doing on set. You must now add your COVID safety procedures. This should include how you plan to adhere to social distancing. Section 2 requires you to name the primary risk holder of the production and their contact number. Now click the plus icon to add each additional crew member. This requires their name, the type of group they're in, their production role, and contact number. Keep clicking the plus icon to add more crew members. In Section 3, you must allocate what equipment is being assigned to this risk assessment. To link this risk assessment to bookings you have already made, click the My Bookings icon. Click the tick box on the left-hand side of the page to assign this risk assessment to the booking. You can also add any externally hired equipment to your risk assessment. Here you can enter the details of this external equipment, as well as stating where the equipment will be stored when not in use. For example, a locked bedroom. To remove an item from your list, hit the dustbin icon on the right of the screen. Step 4 requires you to enter the name and date of each location that you'll be operating in for your production. Every location that will be working in with this equipment should be detailed here. To complete Step 5, you must detail the emergency contacts of your production. These include your on-site first aider's name and contact number, the closest hospital to each of your production locations and their contact numbers, the closest police station to your production locations and their contact numbers. Finally, any additional emergency procedures. For example, if you are working with pyrotechnics, these could detail the fire marshal's name and contact details. Section 6 requires you to list each possible hazard you could encounter within your production. Click Add Hazard to make a new entry. You can either search or click the Choose from List icon to reveal options of types of hazard. Now add the date of your production which the hazard applies to. Specify the location where this hazard applies. Provide details of the activity that puts your crew at risk. Now specify who is at risk from this. The potential outcome is describing the level of harm that could be caused by the activity's action. The likelihood of incident requires you to state the probability of this happening. In the action box, you must provide what measures you have put in place to minimize this risk. Finally, you need to define the risk level of this activity. You assess this by taking into account the potential outcome, likelihood, and action you have taken to minimize it. Click Save to add this to the risk assessment. When this is saved, you will be shown a summary of the risks that you have assigned to the booking. Your aim in any risk assessment is to have all of your actions be at most a tolerable or moderate risk. If any of your risks become substantial or intolerable, it may not be approved. You have the ability to add a pre-made risk to your assessment. To do this, click Choose From List. Here you can see numerous templates created to help you fill out your risk assessment. Choose any of the applicable risks. It should be noted that these are only templates and need to be filled out fully for the risk assessment to be valid. Section 7 allows for you to upload any additional documents that may be required within your risk assessment. For example, these could be written documentation needed for your location, or a visual of a fire emergency plan created by your fire marshal. Section 8 details which academic you would like to send this risk assessment to for approval. Before you send your risk assessment, you can preview it by clicking the preview icon at the top of your browser. This will show you a PDF view of this risk assessment. You also have the ability to open your previously created risk assessments by clicking the Open tab at the top of the page. This page shows you the status of each risk assessment. Its name and project description are noted here. The equipment collection and return dates are noted here. Who created the assessment? The status of the current risk assessment. This will be changed to approved when your lecturer has signed it off. On the left-hand side of the page, you can continue editing an unfinished risk assessment, or create a new copy of a previously made one if it's been created by another author on Siso. When you're finished with your risk assessment, hit the Terms and Conditions icon. Now you're ready to send this off to your academic. For any queries, contact Elephant Studios or the Kit Room.